wear and tear.
Okay.
Because of so many movements that goes on over the years.
Yeah.
So age predisposes.
So is that only for joints?
It's not only joints.
Okay.
Age also, if you there are a few things that look your eyes.
Yes.
It is a normal thing that anybody that grows old enough is likely to have what the eye people will call cataract. That is the clear part of the eye becomes dull, or So that is a factor of age. Then there are a few other. When I remember, I'll mention, but
the organs.
The organs, yes.
Yes.
Now the heart of a baby starts to beat from about the 8th week. So now imagine my heart that started beating in my mother's womb when I was about 8 weeks. Now I'm 67. And the same heart has been beating for that long.
Yes.
So there is tendency for my heart to become a problem because blood vessels and everything, because of time, the blood vessels are getting thick inside. So the blood pressure rises with age. These are normal things.
Yes.
With age, the blood pressure tends to rise.
Yes.
But it can rise to a level that it becomes a disease. So
Okay.
age is, so there are things that are related to age. There are also things we do, like if a woman gets pregnant, special gynecologists might not think might not agree that pregnancy is a disease, but it is actually a very special form of disease.
Okay.
That's why you have specialists that specialize in pregnancy. Because you are pregnant, you are more likely to develop diabetes than when you are not pregnant.
Yes.
Even when you are not prone. But pregnancy can predispose. Pregnancy can also predispose some women to having high blood pressure. And these are big complications that if you do not detect it, it may become a big emergency that endangers the life of the mother and even the unborn baby.
Yeah.
So that is why we are saying, when we start to discuss how do we go about preventing ourselves from falling sick, one of them will be check.
Yeah.
Once you are pregnant, please let's go and register in antenatal where they will check.
Yes, we will talk generally when we are done about these
how
issues,
not to get
how we'll go back and
Now,
pick the points and discuss them.
Right.
Yes.
There's another thing that make people fall sick.
Yes.
That is things that we don't know.
Okay.
That is science has just not been able to give us a clear-cut reason why people get sick. We call them idiopathic. Like 4 people working in the same area, one of them becomes hypertensive. We don't know why is it, and you check, like we said, some it may be a familiar thing that it runs in their family. Then 4 people will eat the same food, and only 2 people or maybe 1 or 2 people will come and become sick. So because it is peculiar to them. So we call it, instead of saying we don't know, we call it idiopathic. So there are some diseases like that.
So that means in African culture, there are certain diseases we think other people cause to us. Should they fall into the group of idiopathic?
That can also, it can occasionally.
Yes.
But since yesterday we were defining health,
Yes.
we are saying a human being is not just body. It consists of the body, it has a mind, and it has a soul.
Yes.
So there is the problem with the mind. So sometimes when we are told that, oh, it is somebody from home or from village that has caused this one,
Yes.
it may just be a problem of the mind.
Okay.
So, and sometimes even when you go and we investigate, we do tests, we can't find anything, we now say, well, I think you should see a mind specialist.
Okay.
So it may fall into such category.
Okay.
Then there are new diseases.
Okay.
New diseases so we must also accept that it's not everything that we know.
Yeah.
COVID is an example. This is a virus that affected only animals before, causing disease in animals.
Yes.
But somehow it changed. It was able to change and adapt itself to now attack human beings.
Yes.
So, and that's why we are saying it's a new disease. We had one that was new. It's less than 10 years. When we say new, HIV causing AIDS is also relatively new. We are just beginning to have information. COVID is even newer. So there may be other diseases that are waiting that we do not know.
Yes.
So these are some of the things that will cause somebody to fall sick. Some of the things we do, which is habit, some of the things we are supposed to do that we are not doing, some that we are doing in excess,
Yes.
some genetic,
Yes.
and then, of course, there are those that we do not really understand.
So, if one will understand what you have said, it sounds like getting sick or having some form of disease is inevitable. Because either it's genetic and you are aware that at some point in your life you are going to get.
There's nobody that is.
You are going to get a disease.
Yeah, there's nobody
now,
that will say I won't get sick.
Now, I think it's an area we need to look at.
Okay.
I believe that there are ways we can mitigate. You've mentioned how people fall ill, and I believe that there are ways we can mitigate these conditions.
Sure.
So we take a break, and when we come back, we discuss those ways.
Just a little bit longer so that the milk solids in it get nice and toasted. And it brings this really lovely nutty flavor to everything. I love this stuff, and it is wonderful on popcorn.
Well, welcome back. We've been discussing on health and things that make people sick. We would like you to participate in this discussion. The phone lines will be open. For now, you can use this line 09071115342. I call it faster now, 09071115342. Is shown on your screen. Please call in and let's hear your views, let's hear your questions concerning this. Now, we've spoken about many things that make people sick. It would be unfair if we do not say, despite the fact that this make people sick, there are ways we can mitigate them. I mean, you find yourself with a genetic problem, or you find yourself in an environment, or you find yourself in one condition or the other. How do you mitigate your risks of being sick? How do you go ahead to try to make sure that, in spite of the fact that maybe you are born in a particular place that will predispose you to disease, you can still mitigate it? I would like us to pick it one by one so that viewers can get it very well. We did start yesterday on the genetic predisposition, that you acquired some disease from genetics. Maybe we combine the genetics, the familial, together.
Right.
How does someone whose father was hypertensive, or how does someone who became a sickler, all because of genetic or familial predisposition, mitigate that fact? Or is it that if you are in that condition, you must be sick?
Well, what we're saying is, if you have the predisposition,
yes.
If you prevent a few things, if you stop yourself from doing a few things, you may not get the disease, or you may delay it.
Okay.
I mean, for example, if you talk about the familiar, or let me start with the genetic.
Yes.
The example that we are familiar with in Nigeria and in Africa is sickle cell.
Yes.
As we said yesterday, that it is clear cut. We are sure that this is a genetic problem.
Yes.
Now, this can be prevented by saying, look, if you already know that you have the disposition of causing your own children to become genetic,
yes,
you can start by saying, look, who should you marry, who should you not marry?
Okay.
So, but you will not know this since we do not write your genotype on the head. You have to check. So it is important that you should find out early what is your genotype. So if you know your genotype and you want to say, I want to marry, whether you are a man, whether you are a lady, whether you are a man, it is important to consider what is your genotype. Because if you are a carrier, these are technical things. But you are a carrier and you marry another person who is a carrier, then you are saying the children you are going to have is coming with a high likelihood of becoming a diseased person. So from there you can start by saying, maybe you shouldn't marry. Maybe if you are a carrier and you are a carrier, maybe you should look for somebody else. And let us now assume that you are already a sickler. You were born a sickler. Sickle cell the problem comes only occasionally. It's not every time. Every time, a few times when situations arise, your blood vessel changes shape. And instead of being able to flow freely, not, they don't stick together. That changed shape also causes them to stick together. And the blood vessels are so tiny. The blood cells are so tiny. The blood vessels also becomes tinier and tinier until they get the farther away from the heart they get, the tinier. Because there are places that we call capillaries, that the cells that are so tiny, they will have to line up one by one to be able to pass. So if you now have like 200 sticking together, clumped together, they are likely to cause obstruction.
So how does a sickler reduce the likelihood of those obstructions happening?
So from our knowledge, we now know that, look, heavy or strenuous exercise can precipitate sickling. We also know that extremes of temperature, too hot, too cold, can precipitate, sickling. Such, we advise that, look, don't overstress yourself. Don't overexpose yourself either to too cold or too hot. So that is one. Also be mindful of the type of exercise you do. Don't overstretch. Then there are some drugs that can also predispose some sicklers. Such things. So first thing is for you to know and to accept that you have sickle cell. Because crisis is usually painful, bone pains, and then another one is the one that the blood vessels are just being broken down and your blood level falls. So and you can have a combination of the two. So if you have a child that is always complaining of pain, it is good to check what is the genotype. So once you know that, look, this is a sickler, or there's somebody that has 2 chromosomes that are so once you know that, then you now say, please, this and this and this are likely that are likely causes of crisis. Avoid them. Avoid them. Then you should also visit the doctor once in a while, just to check, is your blood level okay? Because usually their own blood levels are lower than the normal people that are free from disease. So at some stage, you may need to have blood transfusion, because if you do not, if the blood level falls too low, it can result in heart failure from anemia. So you shouldn't be too far. You should have a doctor that you will check periodically. If a woman is a sickler, that's, you have the sickle cell disease, and she gets pregnant, because you can get pregnant. All other systems are normal, so they can get pregnant. You need special care. So it is not the type that you will now say, no, you wait until the pregnancy has progressed. As soon as you realize that you are pregnant, you should see
your doctor. That will reduce your chances
of complications. Because many of them, they will have complications with pregnancy.
What about the person who discovers that his father, uncles, and everybody has hypertension?
Again, this is because, like I said yesterday, there is no definite pattern that this is the way, is an inherited thing, like the sickle cell.
Yes.
But we know it runs in the family.
Yes.
So if you know that, if you have a father that has hypertension, we are saying the children, all the children, they have some percentage or the tendency to become hypertensive. But it doesn't mean that all of them will become hypertensive.
Yes.
Again, the hypertension and a few other diseases like diabetes, like cholesterol issues, they do not show. So these are called silent killers.
So you should go and check.
Unless you check,
yes,
you will not know.
Yes, let me just give this number because I know some people are interested. Please look at your screen. It is 090-7111-5342. 090-7111-5342. You are free to call, or if you have the link for a video call, you can do a video call. Let's continue, sir.
Right.
Maybe we should move to other things apart from the genetic.
Okay.
The other causes like, okay, we mentioned
things that you do.
Yes. So those things that you do.
That can predispose you to.
How do you mitigate the chances or the risks of getting sick?
We are now saying it is very important for you to know that you can fall sick.
Okay.
So prevent it, because the one that I mentioned today, like yesterday we said, alcohol is a problem. Yeah. Smoking is a problem. Yeah. These are habits that you can easily do something about. Yeah. If it's already a habit, then there are specialists that can help people come out of such bad habits.
Okay.
So that's the way to deal with such. Okay. We also said yesterday that, or today, that age is...
No, sir, let's mention, I know we will have time to talk on habits and health very soon, but let's mention, what should an alcoholic do? I discover I drink so much. Okay. I have to drink so much every day. Okay. What should I do?
Okay, let me also just say that we do not call everybody that drinks alcoholic.
Okay.
If you find that you are in the habit of drinking alcohol and you just want to drink
excessively,
yeah, that is again what is excessive. Is also, it depends on who we are talking about. But even let us assume you want to take beer and you are taking more than one bottle, it's already is excessive.
Okay.
If you are taking wine and you say you want to finish a whole bottle of wine between two people alone, that is excessive.
Okay.
But you will now become an alcoholic.
Yes.
If you find that people around you, they are worried about you.
Okay.
They are worried about your drinking. Maybe your spouse or your children or your friends. Are you not getting? Is it not too much? That is one point.
Okay.
Then you also get you yourself. You are feeling guilty. That I should do something about this alcohol. That's your sober moment. If you yourself, other people were complaining, you are annoyed. You are annoyed that why are you? Am I using your money to buy? So people are complaining. You are getting annoyed at their complaint. You are feeling guilty.
Okay.
That maybe this alcohol. How did I find myself in this place? So if you start to feel guilty, and you get to a stage that unless you drink alcohol, you cannot function properly. Yeah. Then you are an alcoholic.
Okay.
So there is this way that you graduate. So that is an alcoholic. Okay. If that is so, you can no longer help yourself.
Okay.
So you should seek help.
Okay.
And it starts from you to say, look, I want to do something.
So that's the major help you are doing to yourself.
Yes.
To recognize it and say, I want
to do something. And don't think you can do it yourself. You need help.
Okay.
You need specialists. This is where sometimes maybe counseling, even from maybe your peers or your parents or your friends. But the point is, once you get to that stage, that you now have to drink to clear your eyes. That's your day will not start until you have taken then you are an alcoholic. And it is good for you or for your immediate family to recognize that there is problem and you should seek help. And there are places where they can help people, because that is what we call addiction.
Okay.
Once you have gotten to that, we say you are an alcoholic, we are saying you are addicted to alcohol. So you should go ahead and look for help. Then smoking.
Okay.
We say smoking has problems for yourself, because it predisposes smokers to lung cancer, and cancer kills. Okay. Also, there are other diseases that are common with smokers, bronchitis, which is some lung disease, and which is not cancer, but it is also a problem.
So what should a smoker do?
So a smoker should also recognize that there is problem, because smoking also affects blood vessels. If you have your blood vessels are affected, you probably also have some other problem like hypertension or diabetes. Then you are getting more you are more prone to having stroke. You are more prone to having heart attack, which we will have time to discuss.
Yes.
So once you know you are smoking, you know it's where I am saying now that it's a bad habit.
Yes.
It's a bad habit, and if you don't do something about it, a habit is a habit, which means
so the person must do something about it.
The person must also seek help.
Okay,
First is to recognize that this is
a problem.
But
and then
maybe you started smoking because friends were smoking.
Yes.
Now you know that, look, you cannot function unless you smoke. Even when they say no smoking, you now have to steal somewhere or escape to somewhere to
go and smoke.
You should know that there is
we find time to discuss that in detail.
All right.
Now, other things we mentioned were environment.
Right.
And I would like Dr. Olusoji to talk about it. Someone who, we said the environment you find yourself can cause you disease. Either maybe you are prone to it because of your genetics. Maybe you react to things in the environment. Or you are just in that environment and you know it can cause you disease. What should somebody do to reduce the risks of getting that disease? Okay, so we're talking environment now. We just spoke about the habits and the genetics.
Yeah, so one of the first things Dr. Adjuwon mentioned was hygiene. Thank God for, let's say thank God for COVID, but COVID made us really aware of washing our hands.
Okay.
If you don't have sanitizer, there's a wash basin.
Okay.
So hygiene we are not so big on being hygienic.
Okay.
So sometimes you have a house, you have the gutter, it's open, you are pouring water, wastewater into the same gutter. People are crossing the gutter, your window blinds, your window nets is not good. Things can easily fly from outside inside. You have children in the house, or you have one room and you have 3 or 4 children staying in the same room. Everybody's breathing the same air. People, there can be litters around. So certain things in our environment really do affect, our health state. And the truth is, like Dr. Adjuwon mentioned, your genetic pattern or the kind of diseases somebody may actually have in the future is not written on the head.
Yes.
The way they would react to a particular problem is not something that is written on their skin. So sometimes they find themselves in that environment and then they fall ill more than other people that are staying in the environment.
So what can they do to reduce that risk of falling ill?
Okay, so hygiene,
good hygiene,
maintain good hygiene.
Yes.
For areas where there are standing water in a place and it's open, it's good to keep those places. Either you keep the waters are clean, or you need to use the water, you keep it covered, or you pour the waters out so that you don't have things like mosquito breeding there. Okay. So good hygiene. And if apart from mosquitoes, you are talking of flies, because they will fly, perch on where it's dirty, and then fly and put on food.
Okay.
So that is so good ventilation too would help.
Okay.
If you have a house, you should have 2 windows so that air is coming in and then going out. Not that air comes in and then people are breathing the air. It's not going, it's just circulating around a group of people. So that's another way to actually, protect ourselves in our environment. I feel information is also key.
Okay.
Sometimes people they grew up in a particular place. They don't really know that it's wrong, or they don't know that there's another way to live life.
Yes.
or this is how to, these are the things to. It's just like I like the information that went around about COVID. It was everywhere. Social media, wash your hand, wear nose masks, this is how to wear it. Everybody got the information. So that information is, people don't have this information, or maybe they are around people that are not so well informed, and then they are just passing around a wrong information around themselves, and they don't know that there's something really wrong with what they are practicing. So I think those are some of the areas which we can prevent, environmental illnesses, or people are prevented from having diseases from their environment.
Yes. Well, talking about hygiene, I believe you have traveled with people before. In the bus, Lagos to Abuja, it's a long journey, and you are hungry, and on the way, people are selling stuff. And you see people either just buy from the window and eat because they are hungry. Sure. And perhaps there's not much water there. What will you say they can do to reduce that risk?
First of all, I think the African man believes that their system is very powerful. They are not supposed to fall ill.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes when they see a person that easily, any small thing, the person is weak or sick, they'll say, oh, this person is not strong enough. African blood, it's almost like the blood can purify any impurity that enters. So I think they feel you don't need to wash. Our system can. While sometimes we have that immunity conferred in a community, some people's system cannot take that stress. So I feel information is key. The basic thing is wash your hand. Wash the vegetable or the fruits that you buy.
The carrot.
Wash.
Collect them on the way.
Yes.
The
and
apple.
Even the ones that are roasted, that are fried, that has been, flies have perched, dust have laid on it. These are certain things that people are not so conscious about, and they just feel, well, we can eat these things and we are fine. Our system is strong enough to handle it.
So I believe people should wash those things before eating. I also believe that travelers can make arrangements for their eating on the way, so that you could take it with you, rather than taking the one you are not sure. True. Because these boys that sell these things, sometimes they use snipers, sometimes they trip and fall, and the thing comes to the floor, they clean them and put back. And I think if you find yourself in an environment that you have been forced, there is no way. I think you can adopt some of those things. Well, we are still waiting for your calls. If there are none, we're going to move forward because there are other things. I heard you say...
Maybe we should also just say environment. Your work environment can also predispose you to sickness.
So how do you reduce it?
Yeah, I mean, your chair
can,
if it can give you a wrong sitting position, eventually you will have problem with your back.
Okay.
So, and then if you work in front of computers, which is what is getting more common, you may need to have a guard because these things can also affect your eyes. So, even work environment, there are a few things that you may need to do to prevent you from falling sick.
Yes, but there are other things you said. These are things you do or you found yourself.
Right.
What about things you don't do? You mentioned things like that, that you don't do and is the cause of your illness.
Yes.
Like lack of exercise, sedentary lifestyle.
For example, we now say, before, it used to be a nice thing for people to be fat.
It's an evidence of good living.
It's an evidence of good living. And there was a time we talk about cash, madam.
Yes.
I mean, it's well endowed.
Yes.
We now know, without an iota of doubt, that overweight, when it gets to obesity, it is a disease.
Okay.
So you can prevent it by eating less in quantity, even if it is the correct food.
Yes.
Don't overeat.
Yes.
And if that is what you have, like you are traveling, the only thing you have is this junk food that has plenty of carbohydrate, with plenty of sugar, with plenty of flour. Don't overeat. And if you do, as soon as you have the opportunity, you should do exercise.
Maybe this is a very good advice, because some people say that life is for the living and that life is lived only once and people should enjoy themselves because people feel they work hard for their money and they have all.
There is also another angle. Many young people and adults, young adults, you say when they were growing up, it was very hard.
Yes.
They couldn't afford egg, they couldn't afford meat. Now they have worked hard, they have money, and one doctor is telling them not to eat. Nobody is saying you shouldn't eat what you want to eat, but be moderate.
Okay.
Don't eat egg every day.
Yes.
And don't eat more than one at a time.
Yes.
But because you have the money, now you want to enjoy your money because you have worked very hard, does not mean you should indulge. Once in a while maybe, and if you've indulged for whatever reason, maybe in a social environment you couldn't control, then when you get home, use exercise to burn it off. Because if you don't do so, the way our body is made is to protect it.
Yeah.
So when you eat and you say, I am satisfied, most of the time when you say I'm satisfied,
yes,
that the amount you are eating is too much.
Yes.
It's already too much.
Yeah.
Because the body wants to take care of the days you will not have food. So for rainy day, that's the way where the body is wired to keep extra.
Yes.
So if you overeat, the little that is required will be used. The excess is stored.
Yes.
And once you store it and you keep storing, you eat late, you know that there is you finish eating and you are going to bed.
So the next thing is that you're going to add weight. You are going
to add weight, and then you go from being overweight to obese. And we are saying it is a burden on the heart.
Yes.
It will be a burden on the lungs.
Yes.
And it will be a burden on your joints eventually. So you have to do exercise.
Well, viewers, the discussion is getting interesting, but we cannot continue forever. But because we are with you, 3 times for now in a week, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m., we will consistently offer to you the advices that is necessary. We consistently make sure that you are clear on health. We will consistently make sure that you live a better life, because that is our aim. Because health, they say, is wealth. And there is no better life than waking up to know that you are strong. Please take these advices. Please listen to us very clearly. And please get involved. Make your comments. Ask questions to clarify yourself. We are here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays by 6 p.m. Well, at this point, I must say thank you very much, Dr. Olusegun Ajuwon.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you and to share in your knowledge. Thank you very much, Dr. Fumi Elusoji. We are happy to have your perspectives in what we are discussing. Yes. Thank you very much. Until next week, Tuesday, I want to say bye-bye for now.